Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Open Chats. Today I am privileged and honored to have K.E.P.A, the artist, with us. K.E.P.A is not only a teacher, but also uh, a rap artist, positive rap artist. And we wanted to talk about impacting lives because as individuals, and we live every day, um, you can either do something with your life or not. We all might know what it's like to do nothing with yourself or to be productive. And so, what we wanted to do was talk about how you can impact lives and what happens, um, what happens when you impact lives. And so, first, welcome, K.E.P.A. How you doing today?
Well, thank you, Stephen, for having me.
Yeah, no problem. How was your day today?
It was pretty busy, but I've been looking forward to doing this interview with you for a couple of days now. So we're
Cool.
here.
That's awesome. So I wanted to hop right in because the open chats today definitely would just be basically about you as a teacher and an artist and how you impact lives and how you help empower individuals. And you don't just empower people, but you start off with people very early. You start off with younger people,
Hmm.
and you kind of get a head start and getting in there and allowing them to have a positive path. And so, definitely kudos. I've always admired you for that. Um, and so, what was it like for you um, growing up? Like, what was some of your aspirations, and did you always want to be a teacher?
Mm. Um, well, I'm originally from Norfolk, Virginia. Um, I grew up there for the earlier part of my childhood, and during those times, it was like parents went through a separation. Um, I was with my dad most of the time, and he was working a lot. So I was basically, home by myself a lot. And then I had a younger brother too that I looked out for. So um, growing up was very much like I was, I had to sort of be in control of everything that was
Mm,
happening. So like, there was a lot of things that I knew. Like I knew I had to go to school. I knew I had to do well. I knew I had to come home. I knew I had to like look out for my little brother. And so there wasn't a lot of opportunity for me to like at that age, at that time, to have like a lot of like fun outside of like just going outside in the neighborhood. I wouldn't really be able to have fun until like the summer times. So um, it was just a lot of like having to be responsible for yourself at a young age. And so because of that, because of like basically being on my own from a young age, like as far as just making sure that I ate breakfast in the morning, making sure I dressed myself.
the responsible life.
Yeah, like my, of course, like my parents would wake me up and everything, but as far as like everything else, like I had to make sure like I was on it.
Right.
Um, so that led to me like always kind of being in my head about what I wanted my future to look like. You know what I mean? And like understanding at a young age that like maybe at 7 or 8 I really shouldn't be like taking care looking out for my little brother, who's like 5,
Okay.
but um circumstances were the way that they were, so it had to be that way. But yeah, so as a kid, I knew because of my grandparents and my grandmother that education was really important. So that's why school was always sort of like this thing that I knew would get me to wherever it was I wanted
Mm,
to. So
right.
that like school and things like that played a big part in my life. Also as a kid, at a young age, my grandmother she got me like piano lessons. So that was my introduction into music, learning how to play piano at a young age.
Oh
And
wow.
hmm but I never got to like a certain level, like where it was
Okay,
like,
okay,
oh,
okay.
what happened was, come fourth grade, because of the circumstances going on in Virginia, I had to move to Maryland. So at that time, I was probably in about the fourth grade. So then the rest of my childhood was out in Ellicott City, Maryland,
Okay.
um, with my grandparents. So at that point, that's when I started playing like the violin and joining the orchestra and doing things like that.
Oh
So,
wow.
hmm
I didn't know you did orchestra.
so
So you went pretty far with music.
yeah, yeah, music is what got me into undergrad. So, you know,
Oh,
jump too far ahead, but yeah, that that's been the catalyst for a lot of things.
wow.
hmm And my grandmother, being a retired teacher, she always, pushed college, education, doing things like that. I never actually saw myself being a teacher. That was the weird thing, because I was so into music. That's where I saw that's where my visions were. So,
And
but
so, what kind of music was it at that time that you were really wanted to do? Did you wanted to mostly just do the instruments?
yeah, so actually I wanted to play the drums, but my
Oh,
grandmother's like, no, I want you to try. So,
percussion was too masculine, huh?
well, I don't know if it was that, or if it was like she really adored the violin.
Oh
And
yeah, it's a nice sound.
yeah, and there's all this research behind children who play violin and all this stuff. Um, but yeah, so from about fourth grade all the way up until like sophomore year of undergrad, like I was playing the violin. So that was
Wow.
probably about 13, 14 years. Um,
So you're like expert. So you can pull it out right now.
no, that, that, no,
That's
I
14 years. That's expert level.
no, nowhere near. It was just enough to get me into school. Um, because I was one of those kids that did not like to practice.
Okay.
I didn't like to practice, especially because I was really into hip hop. So I didn't see anybody necessarily playing violin on the hip hop.
In the hip hop, yeah.
Um, but yeah, and then I got into DJing. That was another thing I did in school.
Oh, okay.
So starting in like ninth grade all the way through college, I was a DJ. DJ
Wow.
Gemini.
DJ Gemini.
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
should ask for some pictures from DJ Gemini days.
yeah, I don't know those, but might have to dig up something.
Wow, that is pretty cool. Did you do like any sports, or you just stayed music and then your education?
No, actually, I played basketball my freshman year. Got injured with some knee injuries that kind of ended that early. But
Okay.
prior to basketball, I was playing like, the local community league basketball. So, but
Oh,
yeah,
right, like little Rex.
yeah, exactly. Um,
Okay.
hmm But yeah, basketball
Nice.
is really a big passion of mine too, growing up. But yeah.
Wow.
hmm
Wow, that's pretty awesome. So like so basically did you, I guess when you got in grad school, when did the switch happen to you decided, okay, no more music. Now I think I want to be a teacher.
Okay, so uh, so after graduating high school, I actually received a small scholarship for music because I was going to major in music production technology at Lebanon Valley College. That's where I went for undergrad, and then surprisingly, there was this class called music theory that I had never been that I'd never experienced before, like in high school. Like I never took a music theory. So these classes were like kicking my butt, and I couldn't pass. And because of that, my scholarship was basically on the line because I had to have a certain GPA to keep it.
Yeah.
So I ended up changing my major. So I went from being because I told myself, well, if I want to do music, I don't necessarily have to have a degree in it, like I'm going to do music because I love music, right?
Right,
So
right,
changing my major to sociology, which because I took a intro to sociology my freshman year, so like it was one of the other things that really like got my attention that I was really interested in. So I was like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna just get my bachelor's in sociology, and then I'll do music anyway, so
right.
that kind of came about. So I ended up changing my major, graduating, and then after graduating, like I was still, really focused on music. So I was like DJing a lot after college. And so when that really wasn't like getting me to the level of like being able to pay bills and things like that, like that's when I was like, I have to do something with my degree. So I ended up getting a job as like a teacher's assistant.
Okay.
And that's really,
That includes substituting.
no, that was like it was just like I would go to school every day, and I would be assisting the teacher that was
It's the main
the
teacher, right? Okay.
right. So yeah, so that's really where the teaching really kind of
Wow.
um so because the teacher that I worked for as her assistant, she, would tell me that she felt like I was doing a good job, things like that. So I should try to get like fully certified. I said, okay. So that, I mean, and that's literally how it happened.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, I ended up just getting the courses I needed to get certified as a teacher.
Now you're just not, but I don't want to say basic teacher, but you're just not a teacher. You
Mhm.
have other certifications as a teacher, correct?
Right. I'm certified as a special educator. So that is a teacher who is in charge of managing students who have what they call IEPs, which is an
Okay.
individual education plan. And these students typically have like some sort of learning disability, like attention deficit disorder, or they may just have certain learning gaps and things like that. So I teach to help those students. So I work right alongside the general educator, and I just help support them and support the students in the classroom. So that's what I've been doing since 2007.
Well, where do you get the, I guess, the strength with that? Because I know that requires a lot of patience. Like,
A lot of
was it
people.
like something in life that had you, I don't know, realize you were like strong enough to handle something like that, or you just gracefully have like patience about with yourself?
Um, I'm gonna answer that in a few different ways. The first thing I'm gonna say is I kind of come from a line of women who do that. Um,
Okay.
my grandmother, as I said before, was a retired teacher, and my mother has always been very close with like the children in the neighborhood. Like wherever she lived, like the children would just like gravitate towards her because she would do things like Easter egg hunts. She would do things like teach kids how to double dutch, giving kids something to
Something to
do.
do. Right, right, right.
Um that was that. So I feel like it's in me, number one. Like it's just something that's just like innately a part of me. And then the other part is through experience, like growing up initially in, like when I was still living in Virginia, like just the unsupervised, you know kind of doing things on your own. Like I know what that feels like as a child,
Okay. Yeah.
you know and I want to be the person I wish I had during that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's really whack for kids to like not have opportunities to like go out and do things and see different things and
Yeah.
see like, other areas, other places, and not that it's like anybody's fault. Those are just the circumstances, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, where's the intervention? because the recreation centers aren't really like, from what I can see, you know, aren't really like grasping the youth the way that I would imagine like a
Yeah.
whole system of recreation centers would be able to.
Hmm.
So that's really where it comes from. It comes from seeing, the young kids like sitting on the stoop all summer.
Yeah.
Like it comes from that.
And for some strange reason, it seems like some of the cities started closing the recs down.
Right.
You
Right.
know, it seems so strange.
Right. Right. Because the buildings are up all over the place, like
All over the place.
I mean they're very antiquated as many of the buildings in our city are. And it's just like, why?
Just
Why?
desolate.
When there's counties right next door that have full, recreation
Pools, like
every
tennis courts.
where it's only like $5 for you to come use the
Yep.
facility, you know.
Yep.
And that's why I started my summer program, because that's what I did. We went out there to where those facilities and things are, you know.
So you basically took what your grandma was doing, what your mom was doing, and kind of brought it together. Then you tapped into the same system.
Yeah. And I'm very much a stubborn person. Like I really like to do things my way. I don't
Okay.
like, get permission from this, or go through this piece of red tape. Like, no, like
Right.
let's just get the kids and let's go give them. And the thing is, because once I moved to Maryland with my grandparents were the ones who allowed me to see what else was out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I've traveled everywhere because of my grandparents, and I feel like, every child should get that experience at least on some level, you know,
Hmm.
out their childhood, um, because it just makes for like a more optimistic youth. Like they know, like, man, I've seen this, I've done this, and so they know that there's more out there to look forward to.
Out there, right? So let's talk more about this. Your summer camp or your summer program. Um, what's happening here in the picture? I went through some of your archives, just snatching stuff. But I think this is one of the ones that you had given me. So is this a part of that summer program?
Yeah, so this is the K.E.P.A Summer Youth Program. This was a tutoring Tuesday. So, like every Tuesday or Wednesday, we would go to the library and they would do lessons in math and
Wow.
lessons in reading, um, just to keep them up on, their skills throughout the summer, because unfortunately, a lot of students do suffer from what's called summer learning loss, where they'll make gains in their reading levels, writing levels, math levels throughout the school year.
Hmm.
Summertime comes, they kind of fall back a little bit, and so
Wow.
back in the fall, their levels aren't as high as they were when they left in the spring. So they lost a little bit.
Wow.
And that comes from not being consistently engaged in those things. That's why camp and summer programs are so like important. So yeah, that's what's going on in this picture. That's the Ricerstown branch library out in.
Oh, nice. And then I have another one here.
Yeah, so this is a group of students from my school. I was a crew leader. A crew leader is someone who's like the homeroom teacher,
Hmm.
but kind of like I get the students ready for their day. I make sure they have like everything they need academically.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
do like social emotional checks on them, make sure everybody's good.
Wow.
Yeah. So right here we're outside because I love being outside. And yeah, those were my boys. That was one of my favorite crews. Um,
Wow.
Here before the pandemic hit. So yeah.
So is the summer program the only thing that you do as far as the teaching?
Well, I teach for the city, fifth and sixth grade special education.
Okay.
So that's like my job, my career. And then I also have my own separate program called K.E.P.A LLC. So K.E.P.A is actually my real name. That's
Got
my
it.
maiden name. My middle
Oh,
name.
really?
My middle name is Hinano K.E.P.A.
Ah,
And so,
I learned a lot today.
mhm. um, so what I did was I used that as an acronym for knowledge equals power always, which is something I actually developed like way back in high school.
Mhm.
But it just, it came to me in the past 2 years to really use that as my brand. I started out as a program called Transformation Youth Services that I formed back in 2014
Oh,
and
wow.
changed the name to K.E.P.A LLC to incorporate not only my learning program and my tutoring and recreation program, but also myself as an artist. So,
Nice.
mhm.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And then, well, I guess speaking of yourself as an artist, when did some of that transpire?
So I would say about 2 years ago. Um, I've always been a writer though, since like middle school. Like I wrote poetry from a very young age. And I used to always try to write music at a young age too. And then so my sister, who's also a artist by the name of Disrael, she was writing a lot, and so I started to just support her and go to the studio with her and make sure that she was able to like put down all her ideas and her creativeness. And so when she was doing that, it kind of inspired me. Not kind of inspired me. It inspired me to say, you know what, I want to see where I can take, my writing and this art form of rap and writing music. And I sing as well. So
What?
yeah,
I should have had you. I should have had you come and do some
I
vocals now. So I should have had you perform. You have to perform next time.
definitely, I'll definitely perform next
Pull
time.
out the violin or something. You do too many things. Wow. So
So
what? Go ahead.
we were talking about my sister. Yeah, so she's a dope artist, and so about 2 years ago I decided, you know what, I'm gonna record some of this music that I wrote back in college. And that's what happened. Like my first two singles were actually like most of the verses were from songs I've written a long time ago.
Wow.
That was just how I wanted to introduce to the world that like I make music. But I definitely have like, so much new music now um that I want to get out eventually soon, actually. But to go back to like the teaching and the music, um, I want to be the type of artist that like makes impact music. Like I like to tell stories through my music. But of course, the music most of the time has a message. Now I make a lot of fun records too, like where I just like to have fun. Um,
Okay. Now
so,
I have about four of these up here now.
oh yeah, so you have Dear Lord.
Okay.
That's like that song is really special to me.
It's special to me too.
It,
I love that one.
um,
That
he,
and Remain.
oh yeah, yeah. Um, both of those songs I have like official videos out for now. But Dear Lord is special because um, it really was like a letter that I would want to read to the Lord. You know what I mean? To get if he wanted to answer questions, because he
Yeah.
doesn't have to answer anything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like it was just an expression of like what I felt about the circumstances here. And then my like I have family in that video too, so that's special. And then Remain is
Oh,
really
wow.
like it really the video really captures like what we've been going through as far as the pandemic, as far as
Yeah.
Cops killing Black people.
That Remain hit so hard, like hit so center at home. Like I understood everything. Like it was nice.
Thank you.
Wow.
Forward is sort of the same thing. Like I'm trying to give the message that, you know, no matter what's going on, like you got to keep moving forward. You know, like no looking back, no looking back at all. Like always move forward. Um, no matter what, no matter what. Like even in pandemic times, like keep moving forward. So that's the message in that song. I really like that song a lot too. And then Show Out, that's my fun party song. Like that's actually going to be one of the next videos I'm going to do probably very soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna do a fun video.
Yeah. I mean, as I don't really want to be put into a box
Yeah.
of just like, conscious message music. I mean, that's really my focus because I feel like there's not enough of that.
Not
Um,
at all.
but I'm an artist all around. So like you're gonna hear R&B records, you're gonna
Okay.
hear party records, you're gonna hear records that like kind of give you a glimpse into my personal life. Um, yeah, so I'm trying to give like all of me, so it's a lot to look forward to.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And did you get a chance to say everything you wanted to say about Remain?
Um, yeah, that video, I really want people to check out that video and give feedback on my YouTube channel, um, because I want that video to like go like all over the world, because I feel like there's some places that still don't know what's going on here. You
Yeah.
know? And that video needs to be seen by the world.
Yeah, the the lyrics is so real. Like I just can't stop saying that. Like it was I can't even say was because we are still dealing with pandemic issues, but it's like somebody know what I'm talking about. Like somebody understand, you
Mhm.
know? That's what it felt like.
I wrote that song as a like I'm talking to myself. Um like I'm literally talking to myself, where I'm saying, life ain't a game, you gotta brace yourself. Um can't run from the changes, gotta face yourself.
Yeah.
And so it's like you gotta like dig deep inside yourself when you're like put in certain circumstances. Like this pandemic had a lot of people looking like what to do. You know what I mean? And at a time like that, you really have to go inward to find like, all right, what's my next move? What's gonna set my family and myself in a good position, like if something like this were to ever happen again. You
Yeah.
know, because that's those type of things when I see other people who like take themselves from one position and go to another position, that's like really inspiring to me. Like
Hmm.
they don't have to like beg anybody else to help them or do,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They can do it, and that comes from like having faith and just a belief in yourself that no matter what's going on, like it's within me
Yeah.
to whatever I need happen.
Yep.
So and I think that was something that I realized about myself over the course of these pandemic months, um, because so many things were uncertain.
What were some of the things that you had gone through, like for the pandemic? Like, was there anything that stood out? Like some of the trials or some of
Well,
those things that made you really say, I gotta remain. If I don't remain, you know?
one was my family. Um, because of the pandemic, like hours were cut back, money was looking kind of crazy. And so um and when you have a family with children, like there you get to a point where it's like you'll do whatever to do, and
Mm,
without like the fear factor is out of it because there's like no time for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whatever
You have to move.
right, right. So whatever you got your mind set to do, like you just got to do it. Like there's no excuses. There's no like, whining. There's no like, oh no hesitation. That's where Remain came from. Yeah, I'm trying to like recall some of the lyrics now, but um oh yeah, so I said things look so shady, right? And that's like me talking about how like the government is like
Yeah.
doing crazy things, and like society's getting crazy because it's like this whole pandemic has created division, and
Yeah.
the cops killing black people that's creating division. There's like all this just like craziness, but you have to remain solid. Like you can't really let that stuff get too deep with you, because it'll make your anxiety go crazy. It'll stress you out. It'll make you physically sick.
Yeah. Even watching the stories about other people, you can develop an anxiety within yourself. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I think this year more than any other year, I probably experienced anxiety a whole lot. If I didn't even know what it was, I know what it is now.
Mm-hmm. For sure, for sure. And that's where like prayer and meditation come into play, which is a major part of like my daily routine, because like I told you, when I was younger, I stayed in my head a lot. I'm still that way as an adult, and sometimes the things going on in your head aren't necessarily calming things. Those
Hmm.
start to run into each other. And so through prayer and meditation, like I believe in that, to help keep me kind of centered, because I do a lot, and I've been told that, and I can see it, but I don't want to. I'm not going to stop anything. Everything, if anything, is going to get turned up to a whole nother level.
Well, I mean, from the teaching to the tutoring after school, now you have the music, you got the summer program. I mean, you're definitely in a position where you are impacting like lives all the time. Like, and I know the faces because they're kids, so I know the faces change,
Mm-hmm.
but that's still more opportunity that you have, every year, and you open yourself up like again and again. Now you're talking about, well, if anything, it's not going to decrease; it's going to increase. So, I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing.
I want to be able to show the youth and people of all ages that like you don't have to take one path or the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know a lot of people who took like who were at the fork of the road. Do I take the traditional career route, or do I follow my dream route? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And my circumstances were kind of like I took the traditional route to get what I needed to be able to sustain, but then I also doubled back to come back to that dream. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because without that, to be honest, and I'm gonna be honest with you, like even though things have like gotten busier, um, and I'm just like on the go, 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 I'm actually like a lot happier than I've ever been.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
what may seem like something stressful to someone else is not stressful to me. If anything's stressful to me, it's the actual like job traditional life route.
Okay. Right. Right.
Stressful
Right.
because you're confined to do things that you necessarily don't want to do.
Yep.
But you're qualified to do them, so you do them to make sure that your family's good. But to keep you healthy and happy, you have to do something that also like feeds that the soul of you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so yeah, I've been the happiest I've been in the past 2 years. Like just because I said I'm going to invest in myself and in my ideas and what I feel is good. So that's it's been a wonderful journey, and like it's just starting as far as me as an artist. And um, yeah, I just want to. The goal with the music is just to impact and
Yeah.
to entertain. You know,
But you're educating. Your music is educating to um, people that have the blinders on.
mm,
It's very educating.
when you said that, it made me think of the line from Dear Lord where I say, "Building blocks just to buy them back," right? And for a youth to repeat that line,
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? Like, and I think a lot of that gets overlooked. I feel like sometimes in my music. Obviously, people like you definitely get it, but it's like if you really sit down and you put on some headphones and you listen to my music, like and if you're anywhere near the same wavelength, you're gonna catch it, you know. Because I do it on purpose. You know, I want to write music and write songs that the youth can recite and be
Mm.
proud to like be saying the words that they're saying. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want. I want to hear kids, repeating that, outside versus the other stuff they be repeating,
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Um. Before we wrap things up, I want to talk about which I want to get as well, but I want to talk about your product and your merchandise. Um, because you have such a variety of different things, from the bags to the hoodies to the crop sweatshirts, the beanies, which I love to wear in the wintertime.
Mhm, mhm.
You have such a big variety. So let's briefly talk about where we can get this from, or how people can get plugged in.
Yes. So all my merch supports my tutoring and recreation program. So all the proceeds from the merch purchases go to my tutoring and recreation program.
Oh
Um,
wow!
yes, and that's why I love doing this, because I want everything to like be in a
Yes.
like, so you can support everything just by purchasing merch or just watching YouTube videos, all that stuff. But
Right.
I designed this logo myself. I designed each piece of merchandise that you see, down to like the color and the position of the logos. I have champion hoodies. The beanies are definitely my favorite, especially coming into the fall and winter months. The hoodies are always clutch, like all year round, pretty much.
Right. 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 I see. What you rocking one now?
No, say it again.
Oh no, I thought you had the burgundy one right
Oh
now.
no, but I do have one up here behind me, hanging on the wall. That's the windbreaker, which is pretty tough.
Okay. Oh
Um,
yeah. Actually, we had a nice little um shot of the wall back there. Oh
mhm,
yeah, I definitely see the windbreaker,
mhm.
and that's
Hat,
a hat to go. Okay.
and here's the bags and the fanny packs, and yeah, so
Wow.
stuff that the kids like to wear. So that's why I designed it for the youth. Um,
Nice. Well, please go out and support at www.kepatheartist.com, because that's where they can purchase all your merchandise.
yep, yep, straight to the site.
Nice. And then so did you any upcoming projects that you're really excited about?
Yeah, I actually have a few singles getting ready to come out over the next few months. So, and then visuals and videos will be dropping with each of those singles. So I'm really looking forward to that, because I'm dropping not a whole bunch, but I'm dropping a few singles leading up to the release of my first project.
Okay.
Um, I'm really, really looking forward to that. And so there'll be more to come on all of that. I'm also looking forward to a song that I actually have with my sister, Disrael. We have a song called Enemy together. It's her song and I'm featured on it. So I'm really looking forward to that song coming out, because that one's I think that's gonna be the one that's gonna let people know, like, oh, they're not playing, you know.
And this is the one with you and your sister?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I haven't done any sneak peek snippets of that one yet. Kind of keeping that one under wraps. But
Wow.
if you check into my YouTube, not my YouTube, my Instagram at K.E.P.A the artist,
Okay.
you'll from time to time I do little sneak peeks of my snippets in my stories, so people can,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so people know, like, I'm always working on music. I'm always writing. So just as a new artist, I'm learning, like, how you have to release your music, and building like a campaign around your singles and things like that. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
starting to take my time more, which is great because I get to put more into the music too. So I'm really looking forward to the new music that's coming out. I think people will really be able to hear the growth in me as a writer. Um,
Nice. Well,
yeah,
will you start doing anything locally in Baltimore City where, um, well, my comfortable where would be Baltimore, but
hmm,
you've been a teacher and all
yeah.
in Baltimore City. Will you be doing anything like where you'll be out and about, um, doing
I've
some events and stuff?
Yeah, so I've been seeing a lot of, like, flyers for, like, artist showcase and things like that. So I'm gonna really start tapping into those things, especially, like, we're seeing how the pandemic is going and everything. But, like, that is definitely one of my 2022 goals. Is
Yeah, we want to see you out.
Yes, you will see me out. Um, you will see me out, definitely. Um, because that's how I have to continue to build my fan base. So
Yeah.
that's definitely a part of the agenda coming into the next year. Um, I want to get more merch on my website, more seasonal things. I want to collaborate with other artists. I want to write for other artists, and some other things that I'm looking forward to is like submitting my music for sync deals for, like, in movies and television. So that's another thing I'm really looking for.
Oh, like scores.
Yes, absolutely. So, and that's another reason why I like to tell stories in my music, because
Mm-hmm.
it's a good way to try to capture like the theme of a movie and things like
Mm-hmm.
that, or at least a scene of a movie and things like
Stay,
that.
stay, stay open to broader writing, because you, I mean, even though some things sounds really sad and awful, like a lot of people are using any and everything. There's so many different kind of TV shows and movies out. Like everybody needs some kind of score.
Mm-hmm.
Like I believe you'll get up in there somewhere.
And that's thank you so much for saying that too, Stephen. Um, and that's what I want to show people. Like, first of all, music has like a ton of different lanes. Like, you don't have to necessarily go viral. You don't necessarily have to have a million followers. Like, if you're serious about your craft and you understand the different pathways, and you're serious about the business part, which I'm continuously learning about, you can find your niche where, like, you could get a substantial bag, and that's really what I want to do to bring back to the city, so I can get the recreation centers and all that moving. Like, the music is really just a means to get to the bigger picture,
Yeah,
you know. But I know that my music can be impactful, and I know my music is important,
yeah, yeah. You just getting started. I'm telling you, I believe like there's a lot of um because I'm into gospel hip hop, and
mm,
so there's a lot of um different versions of hip hop and rap, and it's a big community in its own entity.
yeah,
Like, yes, hip hop and rap is a large community, but in its own little areas, and it has individuality, you
right,
know,
right.
broken down, and it's amazing to see. Every rap crowd has a nice following. You know, it's like
Mhm.
it's someone around who wants to hear that what you're saying. You know,
And I'm glad.
and I know for sure, like for your rap, like it's like I said, it's impactful and it's real. Um, we are about to wrap up. We probably like going into 45 minutes now, and a little over that, but definitely if you have tuned in with us, like we definitely appreciate it. And please check out K.E.P.A, check out her website, follow her on social media, and then also you have YouTube links. And I'm gonna do my last plug, and I'm gonna be out. Do you have anything you would like to say? I really do appreciate you coming on.
Well, I would like to say thank you, Stephen, for having me on your show. I really
Oh,
appreciate.
definitely.
Um, and just for people to follow K.E.P.A the at K.E.P.A the artist, subscribe on my YouTube at K.E.P.A the artist, my Facebook K.E.P.A the artist.
Okay.
Yeah, and just stay tuned. Stay tuned. Follow me. I have a lot of great things coming up in the future, and I would love for you all to be a part of it.
And if you want a good tutorer, in Baltimore that's local, then hit her up.
Yes.
K.E.P.A the artist at Gmail. You want to say anything about the tutoring or the summer program?
So at the moment, I'm not gonna lie, like slots are pretty much filled for my in-person tutoring.
Wow.
I do have some virtual tutoring slots available. And then if you ever need recreation for your child on the weekend or just want something productive and positive for them to do, I'm also available for recreation opportunities as well.
All right, awesome. And then for the future reference, this video will be on YouTube as well as stevomedia.com. You can follow me on all the different platforms of StevO Media, and doing something different, which is if you would like to donate to, you can. And we are open to any donation. It will definitely help bring in more people. Some of the goals is to connect with small businesses and nonprofits to help do digital marketing and offer platforms for all communities. And no matter if you're a teacher, a rapper, a doctor, what you have going on, if you want to talk about your business or your nonprofit, just hit me up. And the other goal is to help connect brands. And that is all that I have today. And K.E.P.A, thank you again. I really do appreciate it. I've got to know more about you, even though we're friends outside of here. I got to know a lot more about you, and I really enjoyed talking to you. And you are invited back, definitely.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, I guess I owe you a performance. So
Oh yeah,
yeah.
between the violin, the singing, and the rapping, like you choose which one.
It'll just be well, not just be, but it won't be the violin. I'm gonna tell you that now.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely got some new music coming you guys' way, so I'll definitely be performing some of that soon.
Nice. And I just thought very quickly about India.Arie. If you ever been to one of her concerts, she sings, dance, and plays instruments.
You're right about
I,
that.
I know I know you can do it. I know you got it. But she is nice. Like she tells a story, So
Yeah,
it's pretty.
yeah, and
But
that's eventually that's where I'm trying to grow as an artist. So that I mean that's a great goal right there. India Arie is a phenomenal artist. I love
yeah, you
her.
can be a soul bird. It's more, we welcome all soul birds.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a good evening. Thank you again.
Thank you too. Have a good night.
Thanks. Bye.